Welcome to the Sonoma County Library book mending series, and today we're going to concentrate on attaching Mylar covers. So for this we're going to need a plastic bone, a plastic paddle, a pair of scissors, and attaching tape and Scotch tape. You can use either the bone or the plastic paddle. I prefer the bone, but I know a lot of people prefer using the paddle. It's a very different feel. So we're going to be covering the actual book cover with Mylar and then attaching that to the book itself. So in other videos you will have learned how to deal with all of the stress points on the book cover, trimming the book cover if necessary. And so now that everything's done, you're ready to attach your Mylar. The first thing though is you're gonna want to remove the old tape because it changes the shape of the book. So you're just going to peel it off. There's no way not to rip off the old paper, so don't worry about it. Don't waste your time trying to perfectly do it. We're going to be covering it anyway. In this case, this book has seen quite a bit of Mylar over the years. Okay. So once the book's been readied, we can do the... Now, we work with, at Sonoma County Library, we work with a product that has a pre-fold, which is great, makes it very easy. It's factory done, nice and straight. I prefer working with the fold at the bottom. Some people prefer working with the fold at the top. It's all a matter of choice. And while I've got you here, all of mending is a matter of choice. Once you know the basics, you may find that you perfect your own technique. So one of the things that I'm going to show you, and I cannot tell you if you're doing a lot of Mylar, how important this is. I call it the snap technique, and it's where you take the book cover and you snap it so that it's flat and can be manipulated easily for insertion. So with the Mylar, you want to make sure it's snug at the top and the bottom, very important. And it's important to leave about, ½ inch to an inch on either side. I'm going to secure this with a small piece of Scotch tape. We use Scotch tape. Now, the most important thing in mending is always working from the middle. As you learn all these different techniques, you're going to understand that your middle, your sides don't matter. They come together, but it's the middle that's most important. So in this case, since we want to leave a ½ inch to an inch on the side, we're going to need to trim this side. And I've been doing this a long time. I always recommend trimming on the right side of the book because you don't see it that much when you open the book, and if you're not a perfectly straight cutter. So always working from the middle, I fold my piece over and I hold it. I take my bone, and that's all I do. I secure it. A lot of people get in there and they, you know, you can do that if you want, but it doesn't matter because you now have. So then we're going to fit the Mylar covered book cover to the book. I like to get all the air out, spend a little time really fitting it to the book, because the most important thing now is we want to make sure that we maintain the integrity. We don't want to put the tape on too tight. We want there to be a little give. The reason why we leave a bit of an overhang is if I spill coffee here, it's not going to get inside. It's not going to, if I water. So once I feel like my Mylar cover is nice and fit, I'm going to now tape here and here on the top, and again here and here on the bottom. Best practice is to always apply the pieces of attaching tape at an inside angle towards the spine. Now, this is what I call a brain fry. And this is a few things in mending where you're just going to have to do it till you understand. So when I say we're going to put the piece of tape towards the spine, on the inside between the book jacket and the actual book, we're going to face at an angle the piece of tape and secure it that way. And again, we're going to take our piece of tape, which is about 2.5 inches long, and we're going to, again, the same thing on the other side. Interesting, some people like to put their tape on while the book is in this position. It's just a matter of preference. But the goal is, and I will show you in just a moment, the goal is, if you can see that on the inside, each piece of tape faces towards the spine. And you might ask why. Well, it means that when you open the book, and I don't want to tape it the other way to show you, because I'd ruin a book. But anyway, that's what you want. You don't want it to be too tight, because a lot of times the Mylar has been put on too tight, and that's when you see books that are, for example, like this, where the Mylar was probably put on too tight. Might need to go through the book press. And the reason why we do the Mylar is we really want to provide protection, want this to be nice and tight. And I'll do one more for you. So we've checked all our stress points on the book jacket and determined if it needed any work on the book jacket. It's in nice shape. We've replaced barcode. The book's nice and mended. So I'm going to show you this snap technique again. If you try to open this and you're going to be trying to flip, you're going to spend a lot of frustration and time. So all you do is holding it like this, you just gently snap it so that it's flat. You can see I have full control over it. I can place it wherever I want. Again, always working from the middle. Cannot stress. Place my piece of tape. I don't care about the ends. I'm not even going to look at them. So I do want to do a little trimming here on the right side. And again, I really don't care if it's perfectly straight. I work hard at getting it there, but then I flip my top over, and again, working from the middle only, I pull it tight. I take my bone and I run it across. I put my other piece of tape down. I take my book, and I notice that I did not take the old tape off, so I'm going to do that now. And again, there's no way to remove it without not removing the paper cover. Don't stress. Wait till you have to cut the guts out of a book to rehinge it. You'll be appalled. Oh my God, what am I doing to that book? Yeah, everyone always like, deep breaths. And again, the reason why we remove the old tape is it does change the shape of the book, and we do want to make sure that we are putting the Mylar on. Okay. Now we're going to fit the Mylar covered book jacket to the book. I like it to rest, relax, take all the air out. It's interesting, you can really feel the air inside. Play with it. When it feels like it's all nice and flat, you're going to put your tape on. And again, this is one of those things that the mind just almost cannot grasp. Now, what am I doing? Why am I putting this tape on? So here we go. We're going to angle our tape and face it inward towards the spine and flip it over. And you know, you can do it anywhere along here. It really doesn't matter because you're just basically attaching it. I like to put the tape on books that don't have graphics or maps. I always usually put them fairly close to, you know, Mylar. If it has a map, or if it's got really great graphics, then what I will do is I will show you on this one. So if it's got a map here and you want to be able to lift that up, I will put my tape right here, still facing the same way. Okay, and again, what you want to see is you want to see all the tape facing inwards towards the spine. And there you go. Now, the reason why it's so important to have it nice and tight here at the bottom, and that's why I like to use the pre-fold on the bottom, because I know it's going to be nice and straight, is every single time you shelve that book, you stick it on a shelf, you're just creating wear and tear. That's why we always want to make sure that our corners, our wings are in good shape, especially on the bottom. Well, thank you for another enjoyable few moments of showing you mending.